Hello.
I'll start. How you feeling? That was a physical game. I know you had gotten injured. How you feeling?
Feel good. Yeah. You got to be a pro. Take care of your body. So I got my routines, but yeah, I feel good. But that's a physical game. Every time you play the Saints, it's that type of game, and yeah, you know what to expect.
I mentioned OU on Sunday. I don't know if you've had a chance to have any dialogue, you and Sterling, with your buddy Mark Andrews over in Baltimore.
No, Mark. Even though Mark and I are best friends, him and I don't talk in season. He's a weirdo. He can't exactly, separate friendship and football. So he struggles with that on a year-to-year basis. So there's a few months at a time where we're friends again, but for right now, no.
What is that like then when you go?
It hurts. What's it like? It hurts. It hurts my feelings. It hurts my feelings. Guy was in my wedding, won't talk to me. It hurts my feelings. Just gonna be honest.
Was he as enthusiastic about Sasquatch hunting for your bachelor party as you were?
Yeah, he was gonna be the bait. Yeah.
And you said he's a weirdo. Who is crazier, him or Sterling Shepard, who you said has a few screws loose? And he totally agreed with it.
I think you guys witnessed Shep's crazier, so yeah, I'll let him take that one.
There's a lot of talk during the offseason that they want to keep you in the pocket, keep you healthy, avoiding some injuries, but you're closing in on a career high in rushing yards already. We're not even at the halfway point.
Really?
What is the decision making come to running the football? What goes off in your head with that clock?
Some of the times I've taken off, it's been man-to-man coverage where kind of the C's part a little bit, taking advantage of matchups where most of the time it's been third downs. But yeah, just when it's there, if there's free yards, take it. But my job is to distribute to our skill guys that are much more athletic than I am. So, but yeah, taking advantage of what the defense has given us, and sometimes that's a free rush lane for me.
Baker, did Sean Tucker's performance surprise you? Did you see that coming?
No, I don't think it surprised people in the building. Obviously, he hadn't had the same amount of opportunities as some other guys, but he's, I will say that he's developed a lot and learned a lot from this year compared to last year. So, no, just happy for him. He's a guy that, want to get the ball in his hands. He's explosive. Obviously, you saw versus Atlanta, the kick return, just those types of, the speed he has, the types of game-changing plays that he's capable of making. And so, yeah, just got to get him the ball more.
Such an instant gratification, microwave society where everybody expects excellence right out of the gate. It just takes some guys some time.
Yeah, it takes some guys a lot more time than it does others, and that's okay. The speed of this game, when you learn it, there's a lot. The verbiage for some guys from the college offense to the NFL, it's a lot. Your head can be spinning a little bit, and so when you can kind of slow that down, you learn that process. And even though it's a new offense for pretty much everybody here, once you slow it down, you're able to use your physical tools and the God-given abilities that you have, and so that's what you see with Sean.
The Ravens have struggled a little bit in the passing against game, but they're still quite talented. It's the NFL. So looking at film, what are some of the things that you notice about their defense, and what are you looking forward to come Monday?
Yeah, I mean they kind of have tone setters on all three levels. Starting up front, 92 he's a monster. He's got some twitch to him. I mean, they're stout up front all across the board. They got smart veteran players as well. And then at linebacker, obviously Roquan Smith is a huge addition for them last year or 2 years ago, I guess. But just him coming in and setting the tone. He's a physical guy, really, really smart, recognizes plays quickly. He reacts to them quicker. And then in the back end, obviously, Marlon Humphrey played against him quite a bit, and just knowing the type of guys they have, they're physical, they want to be the bully, but they have those guys that set the tone for them on all three levels. So every single position group presents its own challenges, and so yeah, we're playing the Ravens. They're a physical team, but it still comes down to us executing, running our things, and doing it at a very high level.
You talked about the defense, but on offense, it's kind of going to be a bit of a Heisman house at Raymond James. Between you, Lamar, Derek, just what have you seen from some of your Heisman brothers, and then just what do you is any fuel added to the fire when you go against some of those guys?
I wouldn't say fuel. It's always fun to see those guys. You go from filming a couple days in the off season, seeing them catching up, and then just watching them, and obviously trying to root for them in season when you're not playing them. But yeah, it's always good to catch up with those guys. Obviously, bringing in Derek is a huge addition for them. He's a monster. So yeah, obviously our team's gonna know what to expect, but we just got to react and find a way to win.
Lakers,
just to, they have the number one defense against the run, but just the ability to run the football, right, to have answers. And you guys can win now in a lot of different ways. What kind of confidence does that give you, knowing that, if they play coverage, you run it,
Yeah. It gives us, like you said, we should have answers within some sort of scheme of, like I said, I keep saying it, defense dictating where the ball needs to go, and then scheme-wise as well. Our guys have to be ready to react, and obviously you saw in the second half versus the Saints game us leaning on the rushing game and everybody going full force and having that as our identity in the second half. And, we just have to be able to do that. Yeah, they present their challenges in the run game, obviously, but got to take advantage of what's there, and we'll see how they want to play us.
The team rushing attack is ranked higher than the passing attack for the first time since 2015. What has it meant overall to have that kind of balance to open up the offense altogether?
That's huge. That's huge in a game that, obviously might come in and out of the game, having some guys down, people rotating in and out, and then obviously Rashad being down as well. But just to have those numbers, I'm not really a stat guy, but to really look at the numbers, run game that we had, it was impressive. So it takes everybody in that group as an offense to be able to run the ball like that, and so it was impressive. So we got to keep it going.
You were a big part of that too. You make a lot of plays with your legs. Ira actually asked about that and mentioned your name along the likes of Lamar Jackson, Chayton Daniels, Josh Allen as well.
I wouldn't go that far.
Coach Bowles got a big laugh out of that.
Yeah, let's
that was
settle
his
down on that
response. Tried to back you up there by saying, hey, but what about some of those intangibles, the grit, the tenacity? He likened it to a Rocky movie. What do you have to say about that?
Try hard kid. That makes more sense. I would not put myself in that category with those guys by any means. It amazes me when you get to watch some of these guys on tape. Lamar, Jaden, Josh, the things they can do, extending plays, just the vision they have. That's a God-given gift that they have. I'll do what I can, but it's not to that level.
But how much of the plays that you make outside the pocket? I mean, because you are sacrificing your body every time. There is a calculated risk there, but also just how much of that is just willpower, tenacity, and just your competitive nature?
Yeah, it's a lot of a mindset. It comes down to the mindset of, third down, trying to get a first down. It's who wants it more in some situations, and obviously still being smart at the same time when I am scrambling, trying to get down, and if it's a third down, trying to get it.
Did you hang with them in a 40?
No. No, I think you can look at the combine numbers. I'm not even close. I'm more of a phone booth guy, side to side, small, short, quick areas. Yeah, we'll see.
Baker, coming back in the second half after that awful second quarter in New Orleans, that kind of reinforced in your mind, the poise, the leadership, the focus that's in that room.
Absolutely. The Saints scored a lot of points, but a lot of it, majority of it's on the offense. Being backed up, having a short field to punt when it starts with the punt return, having turnovers all inside of our own 50. That's not ideal. So, it comes down to guys being able to hit the reset button, knowing it's a tight game, and saying, hey, if we just do our job, we're going to be just all right. And just having that mindset of a one play at a time, hit the reset button, and we'll be good from there. And that shows the leadership. Yeah, you're exactly right. The guys that we have on this team, offense, defense, special teams, it's why the culture, it's a special group.
Baker, when you look at Liam Coney, he's not the rookie play call he did was last year. He's had a couple years in Kentucky was called plays, but 6 weeks in, do you see the adjustments coming faster, the answers coming faster? How has he evolved as a play caller during your interactions throughout these?
Yeah, I think he's starting to see it really well in the sense of not scheme-wise or anything like that, based on our players, calling the schemes for our players to have the most success, and he's very much utilizing what our guys are really good at, and that's good coordinators do that. They play to their players' strengths, and he's doing a great job.
A couple more with playing the Ravens, obviously. Is there a certain DNA about them? And I think it's weirdly, Lamar's lost one game to an NFC team in his entire career. What is it about the Ravens that you know you're going to get?
The physical mentality. They're branded on that, and they live on that mentality. They're all in it together. It's not a one-man show. Yeah, you have guys like Lamar and Derek that have breakout games, but it takes everybody, they execute well. They're not going to beat themselves, and that's year in, year out. Obviously, special teams, you have Justin Tucker, possibly the greatest kicker of all time. So it's, they're a well-rounded group. The culture's been like that for years, and they don't waver from it. And if a guy doesn't buy in, they don't have them. And so they do a good job of setting the standard and living up to it.
This is the first game back since the Hurricanes. What will this be like for you emotionally, especially obviously when you love the city so much?
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping we have a great crowd. Primetime game, obviously a great opponent, huge matchup for us, and obviously a very important game because it's the next one. But yeah, like you mentioned, timing-wise, coming off of this game, just hoping to continue to bring hope in a time of post-disaster where people are going through a lot. So we have to focus in, obviously playing for a bigger purpose, but still dialing it back in, doing your job at a very high level, and everything else will take care of itself.
Baker, you're known for being a guy who keeps a chip on your shoulder and looks at receipts. When the media starts to put you in the conversation of MVP frontrunner and things like that, is it more difficult to tune out the outside winners?
No, it's I've dealt with the roller coasters of emotions throughout my playing career of not getting too high, not getting too low, and learning that balance, and that takes years and experience through it. But part of it's not just not being on social media, not looking at it, and taking care of your job, because they talk about you when you're good, they talk about you when you're bad. Just do your job, and it'll be fine.
How relieved are you that Mark was not, in fact, used for bait while you were Sasquatch hunting? And is there anything you'd like to put out there, since he's basically, I imagine, leaving you on red right now, which isn't a great feeling? Do you have a message for him?
Yeah, he's changed. He's got a very serious girlfriend. Some people think he's gone soft. I'm not one of those people, but the people are murmuring. There's whispers out there.
Did
So
he
yeah,
watch The Notebook or something?
he's watched it on repeat for the last 6 months. Love you, Mark.
Thank you.